So now we have multiple blossoms from the Sempervivum Pilatus opening up. They're very cute. They're not the most vibrant thing, but they have just enough character and detail. It's neat how they have like the two rings of stamens in the center, and at the end you can see the little yellow pollen sacs on the tips of them. Maybe if I could get this in the light here. Let's see. You can kind of see them on that one. Let me find one that's got a good amount of pollen on them. They were really bright yellow. Let's see here. You can kind of see it on some, if the camera would focus. Yeah, you can see it on these ones here. Very cute little flowers. Very cute indeed. And they're growing tons of them. I've had this plant. It took about 5 years for it to... Oh, you can really see the pollen on here. It took 5 years before it started growing these flowers, instead of just cloning itself endlessly. And it's only taken barely any time for these whole shoots to grow up like that. This little girl's still doing flowers too. These are pretty cute for something that's mostly monotone at this point. The design is really cute and neat. It looks like it's got 5 little gumdrops in the center, or little gumdrops, little lemon flavored gumdrops. You can see them over here real easy. So the reason why I thought this was Sempervivum arachnoideum when I first got it is because I had such a tiny little piece of it. It was, oh, let me see here. There we go. Uh-oh. Hang on, y'all. Okay, here we go. It was smaller than this one. But you see the little tufts of hair on the end of each little leaf? That led me to think that it was arachnoideum, but it just hadn't developed the hair yet because it was so young. Little did I know, until now, that this is Sempervivum Pilatus, which I'm assuming is a cousin or a relative, because it does grow the little tufts of hair, like you can see. But I finally got Sempervivum arachnoideum, and now you can really see what they mean. It grows these hairs, and it had more, but usually they have more, but it got wet and everything through transplanting and just getting it home. But as it gets bigger, this hair will slowly spread around the whole thing. As these petals in the center move their way towards the outer edge, the new petals growing in the center will also be growing hair, and the hair will stay on the tips, and it'll cover the whole thing. It'll look like Halloween spider webs kind of thing, which is pretty neat. The other nice thing about the Pilatus is that it turns purple, which I've mentioned before. And these were only this big until about 3 weeks ago, and then boom, they all decided they wanted to do flowers now as well. These were the first generation of the plant that came from over here. All 5 of those, there used to be 6, one of them died and then made a new baby one inside that pot over there. But all of those came from the first little piece of that, which, came from here. That came from the third generation of clones that came from one of those ones. And you can see how some of these turned purple over the winter as well. But it didn't quite get cold enough to really trigger a full-on color change. Some of these smaller ones did because they are smaller. I imagine changing color helps them deal with the cold. But yeah, super neat to see a plant do something you weren't expecting it to do. That's why, apart from just making sure possibly how much water they need, I don't like to really research too much about the plants I'm going to get, because I like the surprise of what's going to happen. Like, I'll make sure there's something that's not going to be too big or too unruly, or, you know, something that I don't want to have to take care of. But apart from that, I won't look up what the flowers look like if it doesn't have any when I buy it. In succulent cases, I don't even look up if they're going to make flowers. Like, I don't know if this will do flowers, but I like the way it looks. And I like the way that looks. I don't know if that'll ever do flowers. That's another little tiny piece of it. These sticks are to keep the squirrels from digging it out, which works most of the time. Sometimes you get a real jerky one and he'll still stick his face in there and start digging. See, these ones started doing flowers, which I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. Glad it is. They're not super cute flowers. They're just going to be little white, almost tubular. See, that's them right there. It hasn't opened up yet, but just the end of it will open up, just like a little tiny bit. And it'll be white, and there's a little green stripe down the center of each petal. I don't know what kind of bug would pollinate it or whatever, but at least it's doing something. Yeah, I don't even know if these end up making seeds or if these always just clone themselves, and that's that. Like, I'm not sure what the purpose of them doing the flowers is, other than to possibly get pollinated from a different plant, and then, I don't know, somehow make clones out of that new DNA or something. Or do they just actually get pollinated, make seeds, and do that? I'm not sure. I haven't seen a succulent make seeds before that I can recall. Of course, I haven't been growing them forever anyway, so little surprises. I gotta rotate this guy. He's starting to grow crooked. Or this girl, I should say. Get in there. Alright. So here's a cactus that grows hair, which I find very interesting. And this actually is the name of the cactus. And actually, I think you can scan that QR code to learn more about it. I'm not doing that, though. You gotta create a whole profile and all this junk. I don't need that to know how to take care of a cactus. Oh yeah, this one's doing flowers. You can see there's at least 3 of them starting. And this is the actual name of that. Oh, this one doesn't have a little QR code. What do you know about that? There we go. And I'm not sure what time of year this one does its flowers. When I bought it last year, it already had flowers out. I think it was towards the end of summer, maybe. pretty sure it's towards the end of summer. I made videos last year of them. I'll just have to look at the date on that. This is super cute. Where do you see? Wait, where'd it go? Oh no. Where? Oh. I forgot I switched it. Wait, you see how cute. Baba. Look at that tiny little one. For reference, there's my thumb. That is so tiny. I love it when they get cute like that. Come on, there we go. That's the whole point of all the ones in there. I'm trying to see how small I can get them to grow without, neglecting them or anything. They get water and sun and stuff. I got some smaller ones in here, but now I got this periwinkle starting to take over. And this one just got huge right here, and it's grown 2 babies. Here's some more little ones. And these are my stone face plants, my mimicry. I got seeds in here that came from a seed pod. I should have probably looked up exactly what to do in order to make them sprout. I don't know how long they have to be wet in the dirt and all that. I looked it up at one point, but that was years ago, and I didn't tell myself to remember it, apparently, so I'll have to maybe look that up in a bit. Either way, I have another pot, so I just kind of did it quick because I accidentally got one of them wet, and when that happens, they just open up and the seeds start coming out, and I just hurried up and put them in some dirt, so we'll see what happens. I was able to save the other one, though. Lovely little flowers.